My name is Jason J. Rock Houston, and you're listening to Chaotic Risk Magazine. We can be found on the web at www.chaoticrisk.com. And our special guest tonight is Scott Rowe. And many people know Scott. He's based out of Arizona, and he does a great Alice Cooper tribute. We're going to be talking a little bit about that. But Scott is also being interviewed for our On the Record segment, and he wanted to talk to us about Alice Cooper's 1971 album, Killer. So let's get right into it, Scott. Why don't we start the interview off with you sharing with us how you first kind of became an Alice Cooper fan. When did Alice come on your radar?
Well, I can recollect, I remember when I was seeing him make an appearance on a TV show.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember the lady who hosted it, her name was Alice.
Oh, okay.
It's at a variety show, and I can't remember Alice something, but I remember him on there, and she goes, "Hello, Alice," and he goes, "Hello, Alice," and the crowd laughed and everything.
Yeah.
You know, the Snoop Sisters and stuff like that when he was on there. And then the Midnight Special, that's why I started recognizing the music more.
Okay.
Yeah, and then that's why I really got into it. It's before Kiss. You know, I saw Kiss first time. I thought they were clowns, you know.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting you say that because actually Alice was the influence for Kiss. I heard Paul Stanley.
Oh, yeah.
I heard Paul Stanley.
Because Alice was at their one of their debuts there, and you know, Alice was what did he say? Did anybody do anything to to get attention? Basically, just big laugh, you know.
Yeah, I mean, the story I always heard Paul Stanley tell is when Kiss was just starting out, before they even had a name, before original members went to an Alice Cooper concert, and they kind of picked up on the fact, hey, that's cool that one guy is made up, but you know what, we're going to kind of take it to max. It's not going to just be one guy in the band made up, it's going to be all four guys.
Yeah.
And so
basically.
That's where that all started. And when you first became an Alice Cooper fan, how much of it, how much of a look and the theatrics was played a major role in you becoming, a big Alice Cooper fan? I mean, were you more influenced by the music, or were the theatrics as equally important?
Well, probably in the beginning was the image, because I thought, that looked,
cool.
Really cool.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then when I started understanding more of the music, I was like, oh. And then even later, when I was even more of the original band instead of, because to me, Alice Cooper is two entities.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you have Alice Cooper, the band, which is my favorite band in the whole wide world. Nothing will ever replace that. Alice Cooper solo, that's a whole different world.
And that's kind of, we're talking about from 1975 on, like Welcome to My Nightmare. That was an introduction of Alice Cooper solo, And I'll tell you.
I can tell you a story. I can tell you a story.
Yeah, sure.
About that, about the original band walking on the rehearsals.
Oh, cool.
Oh, yeah, believe me. I know Michael Bruce is a good friend of mine.
He
played in my tribute show.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you have to get into that later.
We were playing the Whiskey a Go-Go together back in '93.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I did the Glenn Bucks Memorial with him, and did Schools Out with Dennis and Neil.
Oh, how cool is that? Yeah, but that's the one.
I got stories I could tell you.
Wow,
man.
That's the one thing about Alice, though. He always surrounded himself with great songwriters. I mean, he's a great songwriter in his own right, but just super talented musicians,
Well, after basically he went solo, he started writing more with Bob Ezrin.
Yeah.
When he went solo, and now when Alice was with Michael, the original band, Michael did a lot of the songwriting and stuff. Alice would kind of take some of the lyrics and twist them.
Yeah. That's so true.
Yeah. Michael, my friend, if you look at all those early classics, actually, let's look at Killer.
Okay.
Let's look at Killer. That's one thing. I can say my friend wrote that album.
That's cool, because, Michael Bruce, you're right. He's a very talented guitar player, but I think...
and keyboard.
But I think his huge impact on those songs were the ones that he wrote. Like, for example, one of my favorite songs of all time by Alice Cooper off the Killer album has got to be My Lover. For the simple fact, you listen to those lyrics, in a long-hair rock and roll band. I was from Detroit Rock City. The singer's name is Alice.
I can tell you a story about that song too.
Oh, great!
Michael was on a plane when he was writing that for some reason. He was kind of jotting some things down. And there's a lady looked across and saw him with long hair, kind of looked, and says, "Hey, are you in a rock band?" He goes, "Yeah. Who do you play for?" I go, Alice Cooper. She was like, why is the singer named Alice?
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
hang on a second. What? She asked me why the singer's name was Alice. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Wow.
That's a true story.
Yeah, and that's what I love about that song. Not even knowing that was a true story, but you listen to the lyrics; they're so real. It literally tells the story of Alice Cooper, right there in the song. And
well, Michael told me how he wrote that. Oh, he took me through the whole guide one night through Halo of Flies. That was great to have a play-by-play of Halo of Flies.
I'd love to hear that story, and I'll tell you why. Because in prepping for the interview yesterday. I went on YouTube, and you'd be amazed. They you can find like these full albums, and I just typed in Killer, the whole album, and I went and listened to the tracks. But anyways, I also was reading up on the Wikipedia of it. Like Halo Flies, it's over 8 minutes long to begin with, and at that time, that was almost considered progressive rock. That one song,
Yeah, it's a masterpiece.
Yeah.
To me. Plus, it's also an early influence of heavy metal too.
Oh.
When you think about it, that particular tune.
Yeah.
Because Alice was an influence on heavy metal in its early days, along with Black Sabbath.
Oh, no doubt. And it's interesting because Alice Cooper, he does everything, every type of music you could imagine. I mean, everything from, like, he did You and Me, which many people may not know as a Frank Sinatra song. And then he also did, like, that one a couple years ago, Brutal Planet. That's probably got to be the most metal Alice has ever gotten,
Oh, yeah. Matter of fact, I'm opening up my final curtain show with that song.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. It's amazing because, at the time that album came out, me, myself, and a lot of other people are kind of like, oh, this is quite different. But it's amazing how it has stood the test of time. In fact, I dare say that album is more popular today than when it was first released.
Oh, yeah, I love Brutal Planet. That was just a great album. I mean, that was his best since before that, because he the other stuff he did was all right, but when Brutal Planet, that was awesome.
Yeah, and also like Dragon Town, that had a little more of a metal element to it. Yeah, but that was an interesting time for Alice, and Alice, like, it's interesting too, because if you've ever heard him talk, like in an interview, he talks about himself like in the third person. He's like, when I'm up on stage, I'm Alice Cooper. When I'm off stage, I'm Vince. I'm a total different character. That's a character.
Oh yeah, he is. I mean, it's like, I can relate to it. Because it's like when I started hearing the first, the show start. I don't know. When you hit that stage, it's beyond. It's something else. It's just really cool.
And another song on this album that I think has a bit. It's not per se the music element of metal, but I would say it's got a metal influence. Is Dead Babies. I mean, think for that. Think of for that time.
Babies. Oh yeah.
Yeah, think that time. What a controversial topic that was. If you've ever seen Alice perform in concert, chopping off the head of a baby. I mean, that's something quite different, but it's all part of a show,
Well, that song was it's about child abuse.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you listen to the lyrics, back then when they first come out, people got, dead babies, oh my God, what's that,
Yeah.
And the dead baby jokes got kind of came from there,
Yeah.
But no, baby, you listen to the song, you're like, oh, God, what, it's a sad song.
Yeah. Yeah, and Under My Wheels, that's another song that was a big hit for him. It's got a definite metal element to it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Michael, when we wrote that, he was writing, about something that, to him, it's his song. Look at the songwriting credits on that. But basically, look at the songwriting credits on all Killer, really. You'll see.
Yeah. In fact, just
Michael Bruce.
In fact, just the album cover, you look at that, I mean, I remember back in the day, I would show my mother, my grandma, what's that? A snake. But,
oh, that's Kachina. That's Neil Snake. That is Neil Snake.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Neil had a snake. That's where the snake came from. Neil had a snake, Alice, let's put it on. When Alice brought it up, the crowd was like, oh my God, turning on the love of the death,
Oh, wow. And, another interesting song on here is Desperado. And,
it's one of my favorites. I love performing that.
And I was reading that they wrote that because that's around the time that Jim Morrison died.
Jim died.
And it's kind of a tribute to him. I don't think
it is, because they were good friends with Jim. I remember, I think Michael would tell me Alice went off with Jim for 2 weeks. Nobody heard from him.
Yeah, yeah. And I know Michael Bruce hasn't been really inactive since the split of the Alice Cooper group, but I'm surprised at being such a great writer that he did at least go on to write for other people. Well,
Michael, they had the Battle Axe album.
Okay.
They were called the $1 Billion Babies. They only did 4 shows, like stadium shows, and that tour kind of flopped, and they had to cancel that point, and then they just kind of drifted away. And Michael just kind of did some things here and there. I can go into a lot more, but there's I know Michael. There's some personal stories.
It's interesting. Yeah, I remember at one time he had, I don't even remember what the stories were.
He had a down period of his life, and when he was coming out of that, let's just say that. When I first met Michael looked like a school teacher.
Oh wow!
And he was working as a correctional, kind of like a correctional officer in a juvenile detention center.
Yeah, wow. Well, that's interesting.
That's where he met Josiah, where they did the Josiah Bruce Band.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
This is like early 90. I got here to Phoenix in August of '90.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because people forget who are listening to this that Alice Cooper is originally from Detroit, but he's lived most of his life as Alice Cooper.
He was. But the band was created here.
Yeah.
And Jack Curtis, my first agent, gave them their start when they were the Earwigs. He told them, I don't like your name. If you would change your name to like the Spiders, I can use you guys.
Yeah, and they were
like, no. We like our name, blah, 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 blah. 2 weeks later, we'll change our name to the Spiders and start playing for you.
And I remember, in the early 90s, I got a CD or something of a performance that Michael did with some other rock guys like Richie Scarlett from Ace Frehley's band, and they called it Legends.
I know Richie.
Yeah, and they called it Legends or something, and I thought, hey, that's a cool little thing they put together. So now, how old were you?
You're talking about that video that concert that was shot in Cardis in Houston. I did the Schools Out at the end of that show.
Oh wow, yeah, because they called it something like Legends. I remember. I think that's what it.
Yeah, I'm on there.
Oh, cool. That's interesting.
I joined Richie with them the Schools Out.
Yeah, and Richie since then he's played off and on with Ace Frehley. He was briefly
opened up for Ace Frehley, and Richie was playing that night back in 1993.
And
here.
Wow.
No, 94 at the Mason Jar here in Phoenix. I opened up for Ace Frehley. That was awesome. And Richie was playing with him.
Oh, that's cool. And I know he's played with Mountain some, and he played with Sebastian Bach. So Richie's a huge talent in his own right. Now,
Richie's a very huge talent. Oh my God.
Now, do you know anything about the title track "Killer"? Did any of the guys share any stories with you about that title track?
Not really that one particular. I never really talked to Michael about that particular track. Because I really like that song. If you can be my slave, but I'll be your stranger. Oh, it's great.
Yeah, that was almost like the most upbeat song on there. Next to, I would say, "Be My Lover." Be my lover.
That's probably one of my favorites. Next to probably Halo Flies, it's probably my favorite off the Killer album. I'm thinking, I do a little snippet of it going into Under My Wheels. I'll be doing that in the Final Curtain.
Yeah, and the one "You Make Me Nervous," I also dug that. I mean, it was a little.
You Drive Me Nervous. Oh, yeah.
That's a little different. Now, I was also get on the Wikipedia today, and it was saying that just so people have a time frame of when we're talking here, this album came out November 27th, 1971, and it was the 4th studio album by the Alice Cooper Band and produced, of course, by Bob Ezrin. I tell you, he's a big part of the Alice Cooper sound, like you were saying.
Well, Bob Ezrin's like the 6th member of the Alice Cooper Band.
And he's worked on with Alice all these years. I mean, even more with.
Oh yeah. There were some times later Alice would work with somebody else, but you always kind of go back to Bob.
It's interesting too because Bob Ezrin's worked with everybody from Kiss to Pink Floyd, and if you listen to Pink Floyd's "The Wall" or even Kiss's "Destroyer," you can feel Bob's influence, because he does more than just produce it.
Oh yeah, I know Bob's his sound is just. I mean, that's Bob's work.
Yeah.
When you hear it, oh, that's Bob.
I mean, he's more than just a producer. He's an actual musician. He can play the piano. He writes songs.
Oh, yeah.
He writes songs, and if you listen to either like Kiss Destroyer or Pink Floyd's The Wall, all those little whistles and those sounds, that was his idea. That little part at the beginning of Detroit Rock City, where you hear the radio and somebody making the news report, that was his little idea. But just think how different that song would have been if it wasn't involving Bob Ezrin. And and then I was also reading that this album, it reached number 21 on the Billboard chart. That's quite a feat for an Alice Cooper album. And as far as the influence of this album, I don't know when this was said, but it said the Sex Pistols' Johnny Rotten, and he called Killer at the time the greatest rock album of all time.
Yeah, I can agree, because that was his mother, Johnny Rotten's mother, adored Alice Cooper. It's a real nice I saw an interview on that, and Johnny was talking about that.
And Alice Cooper also, I don't know if many people know the story about him getting his first record deal was actually with Frank Zappa, and Frank had agreed to give him like an audition, but they showed up just one morning, the whole entire band just showed up at Frank's house, and he was just getting up, they woke him up, and okay, you guys are here, let's audition. That's kind of a story of how they got their first record deal.
Yeah, someone like that. He was actually butt naked, running down, holding his ears, and going, "What the hell's going on here?"
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, but because he was, I said 7 at night, not 7 in the morning. It's kind of
Yeah,
wiggy on.
and just talk about Alice Cooper as a performer and entertainer. I mean, like the theatrics, he's a great storyteller, a great songwriter in his own right. That's what I love about going to see Alice live versus just listening to albums.
The stuff after he did with Michael, after that point, he became more of a storyteller on stuff with the concept albums of Welcome to My Nightmare, then the follow-up, Alice Cooper Goes to Hell, which that's another album. See, when you go to the solo stuff, then it's a whole different realm there.
Yeah, that's another kind
Alice Cooper Goes to Hell is another personal favorite besides Alice Cooper's show, being live with the whole different. But if you look at the arrangements, they're totally different from the original. There's big difference.
Yeah, I mean, Go to Hell. That's another one of my all-time favorite albums. I mean, I could talk to you another day about that, but I will say.
That's a complete. I mean, I love Alice Cooper Goes to Hell.
To me, that's a real masterpiece. I don't know why it wasn't a bigger hit. I mean, just one song off that I took to right away when I heard that for the first time was Guilty. I just love it. And then Give the Kid a Break. I mean, it's just such a difference.
Well, the song Goes to Hell was actually banned on when it come out. Dallas didn't get to do a tour on that because he got sick.
Yeah.
So he couldn't do a tour on it.
Yeah, and it's interesting because even on the Go to Hell album, Alice Cooper's got kind of a dip because it's almost like when you see it oh wow, that's his face. He doesn't have any makeup on. So he was kind of exposing himself a little. That's kind of.
But you know what? If you look at that album cover, Alice Cooper Goes to Hell.
Yeah.
Look at that album cover, right?
Yeah.
And you look at the face, and then go to the $1 Billion Babies album. Open it up and look at the face. There you go. That's where they took the album. They just did to me.
Yeah, and I will say this about Alice Cooper before we get into your tribute show. He is quite a visionary. I mean, in the sense that when he came up with the whole Alice Cooper idea, he was like, all through time there have been rock heroes, but there's never been a rock villain. I'm going to be the first rock villain. And I'm like, what a cool idea that was.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what he did,
Yeah, and
because there really wasn't, and the thing is, and in 1971, when they broke out with Love and the Death, there it was,
Yeah.
And then when Jim passed, there it was. Boom, Alice took it right off,
Yeah, and let me ask you, Scott, how old were you when you first, started becoming a professional musician or singer? Like, do you play any instruments? Are you primarily a lead singer or?
No, actually, 40 years ago, man, I only dreamed
doing this?
to have my own band.
Yeah.
Basically, my own music.
Yeah.
But the thing is, back then, I was just a fan. I always wanted to perform. I did talent shows, I remember in high school, but I was just like lip sync thing, pantomime, whatever.
Did you ever give it a shot at doing your own original music, or did you kind of just fall into this accidentally?
Well, it just came all late. You know, it's so weird. When I was 17, I went in the Army. I found myself in the military.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Then and I DJ'd.
Oh wow.
And I would go out and kind of perform lip sync and play air guitar. You know, that's how I got started.
And when were you?
And then after when I got out of the Army in '84, I noticed they had lip sync contests.
Wow. Okay.
That's how I started it.
Wow.
Because I was doing all kinds of characters and things.
And when we,
that's how the Alice thing developed.
And when you were DJing, what type of music would you play? Just kind of whatever?
Well, just everything, whatever I called for. I was even on radio for a little bit here and there. In East Texas, a couple of small radio stations. I love doing the all-nighter was kind of fun.
Oh, wow. And so, So what year did you actually start doing the Alice tribute? I was kind of interested in.
Well, okay, actually, when 1989, that's when I started actually kind of developing the look. I grew my hair out so I can color it so it don't look. Wigs are so cheesy.
Yeah.
If you're gonna be a tribute artist, I mean to the artist itself.
And you said you said this was like.
You want to be dead. You want to try to be as dead on as you can.
Yeah. And you say this was around.
Forget about it.
You say this around 1984.
89.
Oh, 89. See. That was a perfect time because Alice had just come back like a few years before that.
Trash. Oh yeah, believe me that. I started. You know the song I started winning lip sync contests with was not with Poison or none of that. I never cried.
Oh.
I did one show. I went up with the best of them. Bette Midler, the Prince.
Wow.
There was a circuit. Believe me, there was a whole circuit of us lookalikes going around competing against each other.
You know that's kind of
interesting. I crushed them one night with "I Never Cry."
You know that's interesting. First of all, "I Never Cry." That's one of my favorite Alice tracks too, as far as the ballads. Because
it's dramatics. I put on a show thing. I just did. I did my routine. I remember the judge come up and says, "You're just so good."
And I think the thing about picking a track like that to do in a contest like that is, first of all, they see you probably looking up like this heavy metal guy or this Alice Cooper look like. And
you're going to do this little ballad.
And they're going to...
I had everybody saying, and this my performance, it's how you, when you go out there, so you got a packed house.
Yeah.
Lip sync contests were huge back in the 80s.
Yeah, so...
They were, man. I could hit 3 or 4 in a week and make money. With different care. I did all kinds of different things.
I mean, it's amazing you say that. I wasn't even aware they had contests like that. But this even predates. This even predates. The tribute bands and how big that.
Well, tribute bands, I remember kind of creep up around the mid '80s. I remember Stairway to Heaven. This is in Houston, Texas, where I was at the time. And I remember seeing them. They were a Mid-South band, tribute band that kind of toured. And there was a Black Sunday. Those were the ones I kind of knew of.
Yeah.
Okay. And then when I started developing my character, my ex-wife helped me. She helped me with outfits and stuff. So, and we decided we were going to move to Hollywood, basically. But we were going to stop in Phoenix and maybe work some clubs. I DJ'd in the topless business.
Wow. Okay.
So I made my money. That's why I could afford it.
Gotta make a living, right?
I can tell you the money I made. I did it. One of my Alice tribute shows cost $1,000.
Oh wow.
One show I did. Oh yeah, making the guillotine, the prop, everything. But I got a lot of uses out of it.
See, that's dedication right there, and that's why I have a huge respect for tribute artists like you because for a simple fact that I like to call a lot of people will tell you, tribute bands, the musicians in those tribute bands, they're just failed musicians. They couldn't make it doing their own thing.
Now, in the beginning, people were saying that, but this is a little story. Get that when I got here, right?
Yeah.
People laughed at me.
I bet.
Okay?
Yeah, I bet.
And some did. Some really dug what I did. With this, I had a tape show I did.
Okay.
With actors and dancers. I started my first one. Real show was Thanksgiving night at Mason Jar, 1990.
Okay.
I did my 30-minute presentation. People seem to dug it.
Yeah.
There was a few of the snicker musicians, whatever.
Yeah.
But Rob Halford of Judas Priest was there.
Oh yeah, he's from Arizona too. So wow.
Yeah. He calls me over. and he liked my show. I'm like a little kid, I said, well, one day I want to be able to sing and have a real band and everything like that. And he goes, man, I liked your show. This is the way you did it. You're great. That's what he told me. I'm just like, wow.
Wow, that's a big compliment.
But,
yeah.
Oh yeah. But somewhere along the line, my show started building. I had some really hot dancers. I had some. We did some. Be My Lover was a really hella routine. I had.
Oh, wow.
My shows are still my old shows back in those days are still talked about now and then.
Wow.
Because of the stuff I did, because it was pretty outrageous. We did some outrageous stuff.
I mean, let me ask you, Scott. People might laugh at me asking you this, but have you ever thought about like writing a book or even putting any of these stories online? And I say that because just in the interview I've been doing today, I found out you're friends with Michael Bruce. You know some of the guys. You had this encounter with Rob Halford.
Jack Curtis was one that started me out. I told you, Jack Curtis, the VIP Lounge, that started Alice Cooper out when there were the Spiders, and then they recorded their first hit, Don't Blow Your Mind.
Wow. Yeah.
Okay, he started me out because he was representing lookalikes here in Phoenix. He had Elizabeth Taylor, Burt Reynolds, Roseanne Barr, and I was part of his collection. That was when I first got here, August of 1990. I met him maybe right toward the beginning of September of 90.
Oh, wow.
He'd give me I would go on appearances with other lookalikes.
Amazing.
That's how I started developing my tape show, and then I eventually did the Mason Jar, and then I did Bar Search 91 with KUPD 90. I just went on. I just started creating this big show, and next thing you know, I had a band. I needed to learn how to sing. I sucked. But I eventually got something. Well, I worked with Michael Bruce. I learned a lot from him. He played, because, like I said, when he was coming out of his down period, he came to play for me, and helped me with my band, develop the band.
Oh, wow.
We played the Whiskey A Go-Go together, and we eventually played again later in Houston.
And
with another lineup there in the mid-90s.
And a guy paying tribute to Alice Cooper, that's cool to play a gig like the Whiskey, not just because it's a legendary venue, but that's one of the first places in LA that the Alice Cooper band ever played, So just you actually were on the same.
See my name up there with Michael's. Scott Rowe, Michael Bruce.
I mean, so just think.
Awesome.
You went from being a fan to actually stepping on the same stage that the original Alice Cooper band stepped on years before, Yeah. And that's amazing. And my point with, there's a certain group of people who will tell you, guys that play, musicians that are in tribute bands, they're failed musicians. They couldn't make it But that's not true. To me, like I said, I have a huge respect for tribute acts. First of all, I like to think of it.
Now, see, that was the point I was trying to make. When I started putting the band thing together, I'm called the Valley's founding father of copycat rock.
Yeah.
Here. Oh yeah, I started it here, and I remember the Rush, a band called Big Tim and the Twins did a lot of Rush, and they sounded just like them. Three-piece band, an amazing band. They're called Free Will now.
Oh wow!
And they got a long history like me. They're right with me. Matter of fact, it's like some of the bands that were laughing at me, now all of them are doing tributes, and I'm doing the opposite.
Yeah, and what's funny about it is
I'm going to my original stuff now.
Yeah, what's funny is I call it rock and roll theater because
basically it is. If you're going to do a tribute, do it right. You know.
I mean
the latest one that's making a really big stink around here is the Wasp tribute. They're really good. They really went all out. And I know Tim Chaney. Yeah. He had Cycle Gypsy.
Oh wow.
Around, he was always stuck with the glam stuff, but he put together a great Wasp tribute.
See, Wasp, Wasp, that's a great band, especially in Arizona. Well, or really anywhere to pay tribute to, for the simple fact, now a lot of people aren't playing because of COVID-19 and that crap. But like when Blackie Lawless still goes out and plays live, he plays more because Wasp has a bigger following in Europe, so he does a lot of these European festivals. He makes banks. So
he don't play the stage. He won't because they won't pay enough or something like that.
Yeah. And so that's the thing.
That's why the Wasp tribute's going to do really good.
That's the thing.
They're called Wasp instead of the S. It's a Z.
Oh, I know. Yeah, but I know the band you're talking about. I've seen them advertised on Facebook. But see, that's a cool thing.
Yeah.
If you're a Wasp
I did a show with them with the Iron Maidens here last year. About this time last year. Oh, that was an incredible show. The Iron Maidens, the Jack, them, myself, and the Ozzy Osbourne tribute. I don't know.
Yeah,
Wow, what a tribute show that was.
See, Wasp, that's a good one. I mean, because like, there's how many AC/DC tributes are there out there? Half a dozen. How many Led Zeppelin tributes? You don't have too many Wasp that I can think of.
I opened up for the song remains the same. I opened up for who else? The traveling one, Zosa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, those guys were good.
Yeah, you know, I interviewed the singer from this LA-based Led Zeppelin tribute. They're called Led Zepp again, and they're kind of like the premier Led Zepp tribute out here. And the guy was telling me, the singer, he's like that they actually got an invite from Jimmy Page, and they did the reunion show in London that they released a celebration day. He said we were their backstage guests. You know, they flew us out to London, and because Jimmy was so impressed with how they did their Led Zepp show, tribute. So
wow, that's good. See, that's a compliment. You know, Al, get this, back in 90, it was May of '98. I was still kind of in Houston messing around.
Yeah.
Alice's camp got a hold of me and said they want me to do my Alice tribute show.
Oh, wow.
Because, the thing is, it was for Alice's golf tournament for the benefit for the Solid Rock Foundation before it existed. Okay.
Okay.
And the promoters wanted him to perform, but he couldn't because he was under license to Danny Salisco to perform a little bit later. So they said, we really want an Alice tribute, get a hold of Scott Rowe. They got a hold of me, and I did my show. I remember Alice coming backstage and going, Scott, I'm not going to tour anymore. We'll send you out.
Oh, wow. How cool is that? So you've actually met the man.
That was the first Alice Cooper tribute he's ever seen, period.
Yeah, there was I don't know if you're aware, because you're in Arizona.
And get this.
Yeah.
Here's another little thing. That night, Michael Bruce joined me on stage and played Muscle of Love and School's Out, and that was the first time Alice saw Michael play since the breakup in 1974 when they played down in Rio de Janeiro, the last concert.
Oh, man. Scott, how cool is that? Wow.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Alice was on clapping like this the whole time of both songs, somebody told me. You know. And that was the first time I've seen him talk, too. There's a lot of bitterness Michael had towards Alice. That's a whole different story.
Yeah, but I've heard they've made up since.
I can tell you some stories.
I've heard they've made up. Yeah, I've heard they made up since then. I know he's at least appeared on a couple of Alice's
Michael seemed to get a little snubbed a lot on some of the things. And he's very underrated. And,
that's true. Yeah.
Oh, it really much it is. He got snubbed out of the movie, out of the Super Duper, like I say, there's some things that I feel like Alice kind of throws him a bone now and then. Like, here, Michael. Here, Dennis. Here, Neil. You want to do some songs on my new album?
Yeah, and then I heard Neil is like he's not playing the drums too much, but he's become known as like the rock and roll realtor.
Well, he's actually was active at playing drums.
Okay.
The Burchard Dunaway Smith, that was a great project. I saw that back. We played at the Glenn Bucks Memorial 3 at the Whiskey A Go-Go.
Oh, okay.
That was an awesome. Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, man. Neil still plays.
That's
still
cool.
active.
But,
Yeah.
Anyways, so that's cool that you've had this tribute all these years, and I dare say you're one of the original tribute acts, because like even out here in LA,
here in Arizona, I started it.
Yeah, out here in LA where I'm from, I mean, the tribute acts started getting big out here like around 1990, and I even remember the one I will say is like the premier Van Halen tribute out here. It's called the Atomic Punks.
Yeah.
The singer they had originally was this guy Ralph Senez. He's the lead singer he changed his name to Michael Starr. He's the lead singer for Steel Panther, and he was briefly in LA Guns with Tracy Guns, and
I know I saw that lineup, and he's trying to sound like David Lee Roth singing LA Guns.
But the funny thing about it, okay, Michael Starr, people laugh about Steel Panther. He's laughing all the way to the bank, but the thing I love about Steel Panther, it's like not really a tribute act, it's a tribute to the era, to that time, and it's all original music. That's what I love about it,
Yeah.
But see, that's the thing. People fail to realize. You go see somebody goes to see your show, it might take them back to the very first time they heard an Alice Cooper song on the radio. It might take them back to the very first time they seen the real Alice Cooper band. If you're that good, and I've seen pictures of what you do, Scott. You are just that good. So.
I'm moments, you know.
No, but I mean, when you tell me that and even you tell me, well, I'd never considered myself like a real musician or much of a singer. I had to kind of teach myself to do it. I mean, you took all the needed steps, and like you said, you started out, it almost sounds kind of funny to you, but you started this all out like doing lip syncing contest. To think from starting there to where you are now, it's just an amazing story.
Oh, it took him years. You know, it's like now my music that I do, I don't think I sound like Alice. I try to be me.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think I was meant to sing my songs.
Of course.
But Alice kind of helped me to get there. Basically, how I look at it.
Yeah. You know? See, that's an interesting thing because a lot of
character.
Yeah, a lot of people do have their own original music they're trying to get out there, but a lot of times they get it out there through like doing the tribute thing because that's a lot more easier to put together. A lot more easier to get gigs.
You're doing it for 30 years on and off,
Yeah.
It's time to move on. That's why I'm doing the final cut. I'm going to go out and do my best Alice performance ever.
Mm-hmm.
Turn around and walk away, not even look back.
Yeah.
You know, and then I'm going to continue on with Scott Rowe and Red Drum because I have just as a theatrical what I do with that.
Yeah.
You know, my songs, Lunar Spell Terrorizer, about Lon Chaney Jr. The Boogeyman Will Get You.
Now,
wait till that video comes out.
How long have you been writing these songs? Like, have you been kind of doing these songs behind the scenes and kind of just waiting for the right?
Those are new songs, basically. You know, we got a new one called Walking Tall. We'll be playing here pretty soon. We worked on that last night.
Well, hey Scott, let me just tell you this.
And then Downstairs to Hades, that's just brand new. Now the song Thorazine I wrote years ago, I still do that one.
Yeah.
It was Licking You Wounds, and I Hate the Bus is my notorious one. I wrote with a friend of mine, Dave McQueen. We wrote that years ago. That became like a cult hit around here.
Yeah.
And it's always somebody yelling out that song, I Hate the Bus. You can go onto YouTube, snap it up, Scott Rowe, I Hate the Bus, and listen to the studio version. You'll like it. It's pretty cool.
Have you ever
my school's out, basically? You know?
have you ever like thrown that tune in the in the tribute set, or do you when you do the tribute shows?
No, I have two different bands.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, Scott Rowe and Red Drum and Scott Rowe's Alice Cooper Tribute Show are two different entities.
Okay, yeah. So Red Drum, you guys have actually played out live now. Is this you said you're getting ready to put out some new music? Have you put out a CD?
Yeah, new music with Red Drum. That's that's a whole different band, basically.
Okay, that's
I
cool.
have a great drummer, Matthew Taylor. He's a thrash metal drummer. That really brings our heaviness in. My bass player, Rob Irwin, is in my Alice tribute, but he's also in a bunch of other bands like Exile, Frankenshred. He also impersonates Ozzy, which he does Iron Ozzy, which will be performing Halloween night with me that night.
Oh, wow.
Also.
How cool is that?
And then my guitar player, Stock Anthony Tarantino, great young 27 lead guitar player. And then there's Jim Stark, who's my keyboard. And now he's in my Alice tribute for that one night when he's going to do the keyboard. So we're really going to make a full sound of everything,
Oh, that's cool. Now let me ask you, in regards to the guys that play in the Alice tribute, when you were first...
Those guys, I got Scott Gamsey, who's been with me on and off, and Tim Burnham. Both those guys are my two main guitar players who've been with me throughout the years on and off. I have other ones I've worked with here and there. Yeah. Even in Houston, I had a different lineup. But those two guys, Tim Burnham and Scott Gamsey, are my best ever. Gamsey has that sound, that tone, that classic I need. Tim has more of a heavier, and they blend. And then with Rob Irwin, of course, he's just a great bass player. I mean, he's like, God, he has that Dennis Dunaway feel. I mean, a really heavy backbone.
Yeah.
And then Clyde, and there's Clyde Beck, my drummer. Look, that's his favorite drummer is Neil Smith from the Alice Cooper Band. That's how he learned the Old School's Out album.
Wow.
Clyde Beck, a great drummer, man.
Yes.
And then Jim Stark coming up on keyboards. I mean, he did one show with us with a practice run, and he's an amazing keyboard player, great musician.
Wow.
So my Alice tribute band is going to be definitely top notch.
What I was going to ask you, the guys that you got for Alice tribute, were these friends of yours, like that played on the local scene?
Yeah, a lot of them. Oh yeah, we're all like family. Like I say, I know them. Scott Gamsey and Tim Burnham. I know those. Tim started doing lights with me in the beginning when I was just doing the lip sync thing.
Oh, wow.
He became my guitar player, and then Scott Gamsey, and then
It's only right that you'd make them part of a show now. And Rob Irwin, he's been around the scene as long as I have too. So we
we just recently started playing together a few years ago.
Oh wow!
He's been playing the bass for me, and so it's great to have him aboard as my bass player for the final curtain.
Yeah, and not that we want to give a lot away, but for that final show on Halloween night, like how you already have it planned, like what the set list is going to be? Are you working on that?
I already put the set list out there. It's no secret, you know.
Yeah.
You know, I put it out there. It's a really good. It's like I mean, I'm even going to the blackout years. I'm doing Clones, and we're doing Who Do You Think We Are?
Oh, I love that. Especially Clones. That was always one of my favorite tracks, like one of those deep cuts, but it always held a special place in my heart.
Oh yeah, Who Do You Think We Are is one of my favorites. I recorded that in the studio. I have it on CD somewhere. I need to see about getting it burned out and put it on YouTube. You know?
Yeah, and I was going to ask, and since this could be the last final curtain with the Alice Cooper tribute, any chance you'll be filming it or taping it, like for CD or something?
Oh yeah, well, we're doing a doc film.
Great.
There's going to be some interviews taking place here pretty soon. We're going to, at some of the few rehearsals we're coming up, and that day of, it's going to be filmed, and we're going to have probably in between bands do some more interviews. And we're going to send all this footage to a guy in Texas, Paul Mitchell. He's going to put it together, a docu-film spanning the 30 years with pictures and stuff like that.
Now
documentary film.
What a way to cap off! What a way to cap off your career. You know, doing the Alice thing. I imagine you're going to miss doing it. It's kind of hard to, after all these years of doing it.
Actually, no. You know, I have my own character. You know, the Silver-Tongued Devil. And he's the archangel of metal, and he has his voice from Red Drum, and they take you on a mind-bending metal journey. You know, we're theatrical and stuff. And like act out. You know.
Yeah, so that's
really
great.
Cool.
That's a great time.
I tell stories. If you listen to my songs, they're stories.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
And nobody really tells stories anymore.
No,
you listen to other bands' lyrics and stuff.
I mean, I'll tell you.
Tell stories.
Yeah. I'll tell you, that's a lot of the bands I listen to. As far as songwriters, those are the songwriters I love listening to. Like, you know, like Alice is a perfect example of that. He tells stories. Like
everything's based upon my experience in my show I do right now.
Yeah.
You know, the song "Silent Sundays and Confused" is about my experience at the Heart of a Mess.
Oh wow.
And "Licking Your Wounds," that's about a girl that broke my heart and never let any girl do what she did to me. If you listen to the lyrics of "Licking Your Wounds,"
wow.
You know, and there's stories just going out of my complete mind, you know. And then there's "Wishful Thinking Blue," my mellowest song. You know,
and now let me ask you
my childhood and that childhood musicians we wish we could see again.
Yeah, let me ask you, the song "Licking My Wounds," you said that's about a girl that kind of hurt you.
Your wounds.
Did she ever know that the song was about her, or you never told her?
No, I don't think so. It was after we were long gone, but I was still really fucked up over it. But then when I went to record that song, I'd look at a picture and I'd just nail the vocal line. The studio recording.
Now talk about tearing a page out of your life and creating a song. And
it was good therapy. And now when I do the song live, I don't even think of her. I'll pick a girl out of the audience and I'll sing that one dramatic part. There's a part.
But see, that's...
You took my heart, you ripped it out, you chewed it up, you spit it out, and you fed it to the dogs. I said, why do I still love you?
I mean, I could just imagine.
Some girl out in the audience to do that.
I could just imagine
really cool.
sing. You could really sing that from the heart because, like, you lived it. You know, you felt the pain.
Oh, I do. You know, they're my songs. And the thing is, I don't have to be compared to Alice Cooper. See, that's the thing. When you know, there's some Alice songs I might do as well as the other ones. The people, now with my songs, I don't have to answer to anybody. You know,
that's
I'm the Silver-Tongued Devil. When I'm on that stage, I command it. I'm just like Alice. I'm that character. I'm going to come at you. Come here.
I will say this because I've been I've read up on you for years, Scott, and I've been wanting to interview you. I don't know why I never did before. But anyways, I've enjoyed talking to you because I've read, like, it's kind of interesting. Like, you are probably the most successful Alice Cooper tribute, at least out there in Arizona, and everybody knows who you are. And it's kind of interesting. You started out lip syncing, you know, to Alice songs, and you just kind of ran with it, you know, because you seen the success.
I had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
You know, and really me, it's what it is. It's a tribute to
Alice,
and then my favorite band. You know, it's really what it is. It wasn't. I really wasn't set out to go out and make a lot of money with it.
Yeah.
All these these other tribute bands did. That was not the point, and it's still on. It's a tribute.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm going to make money or be successful, it's going to be on my terms, my music, my band. red drum. That's why
Yeah.
I'm chanting Alice, and I'm moving on with my boys, my red drum. And we're going to show some people who the hell we are. We're going to be a band to be reckoned with. Mark my words. That's all there is to it.
I think that's
the attitude I'm going out with.
I think that's a smart choice too, because you get a chance to have your own music heard, and also.
Oh yeah, I still got a few good years left of me. I'm 57, almost 58. I don't feel it. I can still go on stage and do my show. And the thing is, I'm going to open up my final curtain with my boys, Red Drum, and we're going to do a 30-minute set. And then after us, there's Serious Play, the Empire Desire. Incredible band. Serious Play also is my guitar player, Gamsey. That's his band.
Wow.
And then we got Empire Desire featuring Tulin, a great singer. She's going to be singing backups with me later in my Alice tribute. Wow. And after Empire Desire is like Red Drum's sister band, I call it, because my drummer Matthew plays from, called Audio Paradox.
Man,
and
you guys,
a great band.
You guys are so
full. And then we got Iron Ozzy, which is my bass player. He does Ozzy. He's gonna, and then my final curtain show.
Man, you guys are so full of energy. The fact that, I mean, you're kind of opening for your own show with your other bands, but that's cool, you know. That shows energy level. And I also love the fact that, you know, sitting here talking about Alice Cooper in 2020, it amazes me that the man, he's 75 years old. He's still getting up there and rocking and doing his thing on.
He's 75. He's 70. Going to be. He was born in 1948.
Okay. But my point, he's getting up there in age, and he can still do his thing.
He's going to be 73.
Okay, but you know, it's close enough. But he'll
be 73 February 4th. Oh, wow. Here's another little fun fact.
Yeah.
Alice Cooper was born February 4th. All right.
Okay.
18 days later, it's my birthday, February 22nd.
Oh, talk about irony, but you know. The point is, you know,
18. I always thought that was kind of clever. We're both born the same month of February. You know?
I kind of think Alice Cooper maybe and the Rolling Stones are going to die on stage, you know, doing their thing. It just amazes me. He's still out there doing it. And what I love about Alice.
Alice he keeps in shape. You know, I mean, he's for somebody who's 72, almost 73. Yeah. Very active. He's not. You know, you see people at that age normally are on a walker.
Yeah, and you know what's amazing is I seen that video you're talking about. I seen like the behind the music they did years ago on VH1 and his story, and you know he was a serious alcoholic, and I think that's.
Oh yeah, he almost. Well, the thing was what happened. Well, here's the story, real true story.
Yeah.
All right, Alan, and I knew it. I finally come out and admitted it in the Super Duper Cooper movie.
Yeah.
First he wouldn't. It was privileged information.
Yeah.
But I remember Michael told me one night on the last Special Forces show here at the Coliseum, Michael was invited, and somehow he didn't get to go. He went backstage, but didn't get to see Alice. But Alice was bitching and whining if he didn't have his hookah pipe or his crack.
Wow.
He ain't going on stage.
Yeah. Yeah, you know.
From that point on, Alice wasn't really drinking. He was really on the rock big time, man. You know, and he finally got to the point where he was getting sick of being sick and tired, which I can relate.
Yeah.
He had a big old rock and he flushed it down. And he still owed money on it. And he finally got put into the hospital, you know, and he was so malnutrition, he had IVs over IV. We really went from the alcohol, it was from the crack. Yeah, you
know what's amazing to me about the Alice Cooper story is I remember he's been pretty open about what a heavy alcoholic was. It wasn't until
he was in the beginning, and then when he got out of the institution, right from the inside, he was with Bernie Taupin. They were hanging out together, and Bernie kept going to the bathroom, and Alice was going, "What's going on?" He found out Bernie's going in doing snorts of cocaine, and that's where the cocaine started, right there.
Yeah, but see, that's my point. I knew he was a heavy alcoholic for years, but until just recently, he hasn't really, like you said, he didn't really open up about his drug use. But I think it's cool
it was all a secret, but now he came out with it.
Yeah.
And I knew it because if you look at from the inside tour, you see how frail and skinny he was. He stopped drinking. All right, he started the crack pipe, you know. Yeah, and that's when Bernie Taupin got X'd himself out, you know. He said, "I ain't gonna hang with you no more, Alice." You know.
And I think just giving up alcohol and all that, I think he's almost become healthier as a result of it than he was before, you know.
Alice did great. You know, I say from late '83 on, you know, he got his life together. You know, he made his comeback, and that was great. And I tell people back in around '83, '84, I said, Alice Cooper is coming back. He's going to come back and kick everybody's ass. And everybody's laughing at me. Oh, no, he's not. No, he's washed up. This, that, and everything. And then he come out with '86 with Constrictor.
Yeah.
That was a good tour. and then follow up was Raise Your Fist and Yell, and then when he did the Trash album, of course, Poison, you know,
that's his big
put him
comeback.
over the top with Desmond Child, you know.
Yeah, you know the amazing thing about that Constrictor album and Raise Your, like you said, it was a great band, great tour. I mean, in that band, he had two of the guys from Winger. They went on to form.
And Kane Roberts on guitar.
Yeah. I mean, it was a super, kind of comeback as far as the tour and that. But like you said, Trash was a big comeback. And I got to ask you, as an Alice Cooper fan, because there are some people thought, Trash, it's kind of too poppy, it's all over the radio. But I don't.
That's why I don't do Poison. I never done Poison live.
Yeah.
I never do. I never done that song. The only song I ever did off the Trash album was the title. It was Trash.
And
that's a great song.
That's when he does with John Bon Jovi. It's kind of cool. And what did you think of the track he did? He did with Steven Tyler, "Only in My Heart." It's kind of
But I never done Poison live. I did it in my lip sync show back in the day.
Oh wow.
But when it comes to the band, no, it's just so overproduced, and I don't know. And my wife hates that song.
And then there's
she hears Poison, and she's like, make it stop.
And then there's a song, "Feed My Frankenstein." Nikki Sixx.
I like that one. Now we're doing that in my final curtain, right after Brutal Planet. I'm opening up with Brutal Planet, and we're going right into "Feed My Frankenstein."
"Feed My Frankenstein." Nikki Sixx helped write that. He plays on it, I think, and that was a big, kind of like a metal.
Actually, Zodiac Mind Warp wrote "Feed My Frankenstein," and they sent it to Alice, and he really liked it, so he restructured it. I think Nikki played.
Okay.
I don't know if Nikki did. No, you're talking about Might As Well Be on Mars, I think, with Nikki Sixx, Mick Mars, and all them.
Yeah, but
that's a great song too on "Hey Stupid."
Yeah, but on "Hey Stupid," I kind of like the title track. I don't know how you feel about it.
Isn't it? Yeah, that's a fun song,
That's one. That's exactly like some. He's got a little message, anti-suicide message, and Ozzy sings on it with him. But it's kind of and Joe Satriani plays the guitar part. But it's kind of just a fun sing-along song, and that's what I dig about it. Kind of is the fact, it's an anti-suicide song, but it's a fun song at the same time. Fun little diddly to sing.
Yeah, Slash also plays a guitar track on that. On "Hey Stupid" also.
Oh wow. Yeah. Well, Scott, I want to thank you for taking time to talk to me. I really enjoyed it. And let me tell you this. What I'd like to do is maybe after you do your final tribute show, we can do another interview. And what I'd like to do next time when I talk to you is when you're ready to release some of your new music, let's do an interview about that, because I'd love to spread the word.
Oh, yeah, because I plan on taking Ridge in the studio. I'm on the gym. So Jim said he got studio time, and I said, well, when?
Yeah. Okay, so let's keep in touch, and I was just curious, as far as Alice Cooper tribute you've done all these years, have you primarily just done the show in Arizona, or have you gone to other places and done it?
Oh, I played my tribute play. I did a tour of the East Coast with a different lineup behind me, not as good as my.
Okay.
But I did that. I went on the East Coast. I had some good shows and some bad ones, and I played Texas. I did a lot around through there. And, like I said, LA and whiskey a few times.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, you mentioned that. Now, I was curious, where are you originally from? Because you got a great accent.
Well, I live everywhere. I was actually born in California, raised in Texas.
Oh, okay.
And then I've been here in Arizona on and off since 1990, on and off.
Yeah, because I have a cousin that lived all her life in California, then she moved to Tulsa, Oklahoma, and ever since then she's been talking with a twang.
Yeah, sometimes when you pick up something, sometimes I'll just talk normal.
Yeah.
I remember when I was a kid, when we first moved to Texas, and I got to hearing y'all.
Oh, that's a Texas.
What's y'all?
That's
y'all?
Yeah, that's a Texas drawl. Yeah, but I just want to say,
you guys.
Yeah, believe it or not,
you guys.
believe it or not, I asked because I think you got a great voice for voiceovers or just talking in general. You got a pretty cool voice.
It's been developing,
Yeah.
I'm really proud of my band, Scott, Rowe, and Rego. I sent you the video of my last show we did.
Oh yeah, I caught that. I'm gonna go on YouTube and check out some other stuff like you said, and then that way I'll know a little more about that when we do the next interview. But let me know when you're ready to do it, okay?
Scott Rowe and Red Drum. You'll see you see some past line. Because the band's been around 2 years now. Red Drum has. But I still have the same rhythm section. Matthew Taylor and Rob Irwin. But like I say, recently I got Jim Stark and Anthony Tarantino, a young 27 brilliant guitar player. So there is some recent stuff. If you just go Scott Road,
Okay.
you'll see The Boogeyman Will Get You.
Okay.
Check that song out.
Yeah, and after I check it out, I'll kind of give you let you know what I think. But it sounds like it's right up my alley, theatrical rock.
And like I say, look at your messenger. Look at that last show I just sent you and Bluetooth it and take a listen to it. I think you might
dig it. Okay.
I hope you like it. I think you might.
Okay. Thanks, Scott. And like I
right.
said, let's keep in touch, buddy. Bye bye.
You got it.
Okay.
You got it, brother.